Yes, it is me. I have arisen from my trip to the 9th levels of hell on my way to Relay to spit in the face of Cthulhu, better known as me working retail during Christmas. But none of you truly care about that. No, I'm sure most of you probably know what this video is going to be about. Headline should probably give it away, but again, I am going to preview and try to sell to at least, I hope, some of you that maybe thought or aren't too sure about buying this internet pay-per-view, better known as Final Battle 2010, ROH's next internet pay-per-view. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Ring of Honor's forte into internet pay-per-viewness, which has, for the most part, I think, been pretty good. We still get to see the stuff live, even though there has been glitches through most of them, though hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't see anything as bad as the last one. I think the last one was the worst, and GoFightLive actually said that they felt that was the worst one, and that they were using some sort of new equipment, and that they were not going to be doing that again. So, here we go. Final Battle. 1 year ago. 1 year ago, Ring of Honor started their triumph or their trip, I should say, into internet pay-per-view land. And oddly enough, one of the big stories coming out of that internet pay-per-view looks to be being finished, well, 2 of them actually, on this one. So that's something. Final Battle is kind of, for those of you not aware, Final Battle, somewhat like WrestleMania. I would put it myself more like Starrcade, in which this is where a lot of the storylines kind of end. This is where everything kind of new. This is the dawning, the end of the year for Ring of Honor and the beginning of the next year for Ring of Honor. And let's run down these matches. I definitely think this is going to be a very good pay-per-view. Already purchased it, even though I myself will not be able to probably watch it until Wednesday at the earliest. And I might actually have to wait till Christmas Day to actually watch this. I don't think so, but I'm definitely not going to be able to watch it, you know, Saturday, Sunday. Definitely not Sunday. I don't get off work till 10. Won't be up Sunday, so I won't be able to watch it then. And I'm working 12 hours on Monday and Tuesday. But I've already purchased it. Yes, I have, because I believe it's going to be that good, and I do want to watch it. And hopefully many of you will want to watch it as well. So, let's get started. Let's run down this card, so to speak. Let's just run down the matches that are kind of on the undercard. They haven't really talked about a lot of these. Some of these they have on HDNet, Ring of Honor HDNet, which I just watched this week's. Ring of Honor HDNet is pretty much the only thing I've been able to really watch because it's only an hour. I was able to watch yesterday that and King of the Ring. But the show on HDNet, the one this past week, amazing go-home show. Probably one of the best, and that is saying something, because, yeah, that's definitely saying something. There were, the ending video package was pretty amazing. Everything about that show just led right to the pay-per-view, made me want to watch the pay-per-view more. So, there you go. So, if you have a way of watching that, I definitely would say go watch that. I think they did a good enough job that anyone that would watch that would definitely be like, let me order this iPay-per-view. So, let's get started with this show. First of all, we got the undercard, the All Night Express taking on Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are fairly good. I don't expect that. This is either going to be one of those matches where they're really going to try to highlight Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, or it's just going to be kind of a, let's make the All Night Express look good. It looks like they have pretty major plans for them in the next year, so it's going to be one of the two. I expect the match to be good. If it's the opener, I expect it to be a fairly good opener. So if it's not, then I still expect it to be a fairly decent match. And I think every match on this card has the potential, at the very least, to be very good. So there we go there. Then we have Colt Cabana taking on TJ Perkins. Kind of surprising to see TJ Perkins. He's mainly been a PWG guy over the years. But he's taking on Colt Cabana. I will be honest, I don't expect a lot out of this match, not because I don't think these two can go and put on a good match. I think they could go out there and put on a good comedy match. I think they could go out there and put on just a good wrestling match. But I expect we're going to get Probably some sort of interference and something that will lead into the last match. I wouldn't call it the main event because they're not really calling it the main event, but the last match on the show. So I would expect something along those lines myself. But again, I think the match could be good and will probably be good at the very least. Then we have a women's match, which could be awesome if they actually kind of let it be awesome. No pun intended. As we're going to have Daizee, Haze, and Awesome Kong taking on Sara Del Rey and Serena Deeb. This, I hope, is really, really good. This will be, I think, the second time Awesome Kong has been in Ring of Honor since she's left TNA. Will be good to see her on the iPay-per-view. I think this will be really good. I'm really hoping this is kind of a way to set up Awesome Kong and Sara Del Rey for kind of a year-long feud in Ring of Honor. I think that would be really good and really just good for women's wrestling, even on the independent scene. So I am looking very forward to that match. And if you like women's wrestling, if you want to see good women's wrestling, I would definitely say this is the match for you. Then we have Christopher Daniels taking on Homicide. Christopher Daniels is now, for those of you, spoiler alert, not that it's that big of a spoiler, is now the ROH TV champion. He won them at the last TV tapings. It will be taking on Homicide. Pretty good chance Homicide might go over here. If you've kind of followed the tapings from the last set of tapings, which kind of sucks. But if not, but I expect this match to be a pretty good match. I don't expect it to be great. Not that I don't think these guys could have a great match, but I don't expect it to be great. I expect them to go out there and have a really good undercard match, which is kind of a setup match for everything else. Then originally, we were supposed to have Kenny Omega taking on Eddie Edwards. Kenny Omega apparently got hurt, and Eddie Edwards will now be taking on Sonjay Dutt. I don't expect this match to be nearly as good as it would have been with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega has been having an amazing year in Japan, so I was really, really looking forward to this match. But I think Sonjay Dutt and Eddie Edwards can go out there and have a very good match, and at the very least could have a good match. So there we have there. Then we get into kind of the headlining matches, if you will. We get a six-man tag, which is a bit sports entertainment-ish, but in a way that still means something. Jay, Mark, and Papa Briscoe taking on the Kings of Wrestling and Shane Hagadorn in a six-man tag. This should be great. If you followed this storyline actually started back at Final Battle last year with the Kings of Wrestling making their return, attacking the Briscoes. Been going on all year. Tag titles aren't on the line. That could change the night of the show, of course, but I don't expect them to, because I really think this is more of supposed to be, not that the titles aren't important, but that them settling the score is kind of the deal here. And if you followed the Papa Briscoe, it'll be interesting to see Papa Briscoe in the ring. I don't expect him to be great. I don't expect him even to be good. Maybe okay. But this should be a fun match. I would say this should be a lot of just a good, entertaining type match. I don't expect greatness out of this match. I expect the Kings of Wrestling and Jay and Mark to pretty much, as far as the in-ring action go, to carry a big part of the load. But I don't expect a lot out of this match. But I do expect a lot of fun, I guess, out of this match. I expect a lot of fun out of this match, and that within itself, I think, is a good thing. Then we get Roderick Strong taking on Davey Richards. It's, I guess, kind of a foregone conclusion that Davey Richards will win. I hope he wins, because I think the New York fans will revolt if he doesn't, unless, it just plays out really weird. But this should be an excellent match. I expect this to be, I wouldn't say a match of the year contender, but I definitely expect it to be definitely a worthy ROH pay-per-view title match, even though it's the main event, but it's not the last match on the card. They had pretty much announced that the last match on the card is going to be Kevin Steen and El Generico. The other kind of storyline that did start at Final Battle with Kevin Steen finally turning on El Generico and this year-long battle of Kevin Steen and El Generico, which has been played up great. There are 2 stipulations here. Basically, it's if Generico loses, he will unmask. If Steen loses, he'll quit Ring of Honor. I definitely expect Kevin Steen to lose here because he is hurt, and I know he's been wanting to take time off, or there's been talk of him taking time off for a while now. He definitely could be gone, 4 or 5 months, and then they could come up with some way of bringing him back. And I don't think anyone really thinks he'll be gone forever, but I definitely don't expect him to be back, by the next iPay-per-view either. But this should be a very, very brutal match, I think. It's basically been an unsanctioned match. They've said it's going to be the last match on the card, which it probably deserves to be. I think this is the match most people are actually looking forward to. Not to say anything bad about Roderick Strong versus Davey Richards, but I think this has been set up so wonderfully, and that these stiffs matter. Where, Instant Classic did his video, and he said, this shit matters, and it does. If you follow this matters. Steen losing, a lot of people are going to be like, that sucks. El Generico getting unmasked, well, that's going to suck even worse. And this match should be great. This has been a great feud. Just amazing, amazing, amazing stuff, and should just be the cherry on top of this whole thing. And again, everything on this card, particularly the top 3 matches, have been booked fairly well. Roderick Strong and the House of Truth, and you have Davey Richards, and it looks like Davey Richards finally going to be crowned ROH champion. Kevin Steen, El Generico, no doubt in my mind that has been the feud of the year this year. Which is actually saying something, because there's actually been a lot of good feuds this year. And then the 6-man match, which again is a gimmick match, but is kind of an attraction match, if you will, in that you have Papa Briscoe in there, who's never wrestled before. But is Papa Briscoe? That's one of the great things. If you've never seen Papa Briscoe, you have to see this guy, because if you in your mind envisioned what the Briscoe's father should be, it's this guy. It's like, yeah, this guy's sperm gave us Jay and Mark Briscoe. Because it's an amazing, amazing, amazing thing, and he just gets it too. I mean, it's like he just naturally gets it. You can tell where Jay and Mark get it from. I'll just put it that way. And I think the undercard looks really good too. I think it's very solid. I think Kenny Omega being off this card hurts it a bit from being as good as Death Before Dishonor, which I think this had the chance of being as good as. I definitely think this has the chance to be, at least as good as Glory by Honor, which I thought was still a, pretty great pay-per-view. So definitely, if you have the chance to, this is going to be $15, and you get, I have no doubt in my mind, some great, great, great stuff. And I think I really, really look forward to this. We're going to, again, there's a lot of things that are going to be starting, a lot of things that are going to be ending. Just a very good end of kind of the year for Ring of Honor. Should be just a lot of fun. When you for everyone that complains that, about WWE, about TNA, about wrestling in general, you owe it to yourself to at least check out one of these. Maybe you won't like it. Maybe you'll be like, this isn't for me. But at the same time, you owe it to yourself to check out at least one of these iPay-per-views, see if you like it or not, give it a chance. That's all I would ask. I know people are going to come on here, and I've seen lots of people already coming on here and commenting that, the ROH fanboys are coming down to shove this pay-per-view down everyone's throats. Well, guess what? Ring of Honor, isn't on a network where it's going to be, even has a chance to be seen by a million people. They don't have, all the money or any of the other things that even TNA has to really go out there and promote itself. So it's left up to, in a lot of ways, us the fans, to go out there and try to promote this and really try to get people to watch this. And trust me, folks, if you are a wrestling fan, if you've ever been a wrestling fan, if you want to give pro wrestling one more shot, here you go. Give it a shot. Just give it a try. You don't like it? Hey, you don't like it. there you go. But I got a good feeling that if you give Ring of Honor a try, you're going to like it. So, with that, I must descend again back into hell. Like I said, I might review this next weekend. Maybe. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to review TLC, to be honest, but we'll see. But with that, I'm out. Have a good one. Later.